Good morning and welcome to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter, the show that takes a look at the events and what's happening all around Putnam County, as well as interviews with local, community, and business leaders. And now, sharing his insights and experience, here's Today in Putnam County with County Mayor Randy Porter.
Thanks, Philip Gibbons, and thank you for joining us today. Hope you're having a great weekend. Hey, it's getting close to Valentine's Day coming up, and we're going to talk today about some sweet treats and things that you might want to look forward to for your Valentine. I've got a special Valentine. I married my wife on Valentine's, so that way I don't ever forget my anniversary date. And so coming up on February 14th, we've been married 37 years. She's the love of my life, and happy Valentine's, Melanie. You've been the greatest thing that ever happened to me, so appreciate you. So now on to the show. I have one of our local business owners with me this morning, Miss Jamie Lankford. She is the owner of Jamie's Eats and Sweets over on West Broad Street. Good morning, Jamie.
Morning, Randy. How are you?
Oh, great. Thank you for being on the show. I remember doing the ribbon cutting for your business. What's that been, a couple years ago now?
That was the September 28th, 2022, so it was only a little over a year ago.
Wow, it's time to...
It flew by.
It flew by in a hurry. So she owns Jamie's Eats and Sweets, and if you're looking for it on West Broad Street, it's in the Westside, right across from Crawdaddy's is probably the best way to describe it, isn't it?
Most people know Crawdaddy's.
Know
if you don't know
Crawdaddy's?
Crawdaddy's, you know plenty of the bookshop. They're right next door.
Yeah. So how's things going?
So far, so good. Slow down in January, as always.
We were talking about that at break, so I had not thought about that, but with all the great sweets and treats you've got, New Year's resolutions, right?
Yeah, most people always forget about our breakfast and lunch menu. That's okay. But hey, we're still there, and we still have sweets, and we still got breakfast and lunch, so it's okay.
How long does those resolutions usually last? We don't carry those out very far,
do we?
Like a
2-week window usually for people.
If you make it 30 days, you've done well. Yeah.
So I mean, hey. More power to you.
Yeah, and it's always great to have resolutions and to try to do things that you need to do, but we find a lot of them, it's tough to, especially some things tough to do. But
life gets busy.
Don't we live in a hectic lifestyle anymore?
Oh, absolutely.
We were talking about that earlier, that, of course, I was raised on a big farm, and the days seemed like they lasted forever, and the old sitting on the front porch waiting for it to get dark, and it seemed like it took forever. And now if I get home, I don't in the wintertime get home before dark. Even in the summertime, to get home before dark is a
good time.
It is. It's a big deal. And cell phones, the internet, and social media, and it's so much to keep up with. But you have a lot in your store. It's just not about sweet treats. You actually serve meals. You serve breakfast, lunch.
Yeah, breakfast, lunch. We have a full espresso menu. So you can come in and get a breakfast burrito or quiche, and then for lunch we have salads, we have sandwiches. We have a sandwich that's named after one of our old employees. It's named the James. It's like a turkey, bacon, and ranch sandwich.
Hey, that sounds good.
So it's a good time. We have another one that's named after one of our regulars. It's called the Dino. Actually named after somebody that moved here from Hopkinsville after I did, and then they were a regular at the cafe, and then they ended up with a sandwich named after them. So.
Wow, and then breakfast and lunch, and then you got all these sweet treats.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
All sorts of stuff. Cream puffs, we've got eclairs. Our cinnamon rolls are the size of the average person's face, so people usually freak out over those.
And you bake them all there in the store?
It's all baked right there in the store.
That's amazing. So it's just you. You have a husband, but he's not involved in the business. So do you have other employees that help you with the business?
There's about, I think, 6 total on staff right now. So I have Olivia. She's my head baker. She helps me get everything baked and all the orders and stuff taken care of. I have Eden right now. She's my head cake decorator. So the two of those get together and they just make some magic. And then we've got a few baristas and then a few tech students that come in and out. So
that is amazing. We're glad you're doing well. I knew when you opened it up that it was going to be popular, and that's great. We were putting on an event, and it's called the Second Annual Chocolate Festival.
Yes.
That sounds like the greatest thing that could ever be.
Definitely sweet.
Yeah, definitely sweet. So tell us a little bit about it and how that came about.
So last year, it was kind of the same thing. It was our first year being open. There were a lot of new businesses that had just opened up around me. And so all of that January, all we heard was I literally had other entrepreneurs come into my store, and they were just crying over how bad sales were.
Yeah.
And so we were just getting together. We're all right, what can we do to increase sales for February?
Yeah.
What can we do to give ourselves a bump so that way we can just kind of go
and make
forward.
It to the good months?
And so then I was like, well, what if we just did something for the community just to get people down here? Because most people didn't know that we were really there yet.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, if we can just get people down here so that way they can see us, then we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And so I just started like calling up and like walking into the other businesses, and I was like, what if we just did a chocolate festival? And what if we just gave out free chocolate? And
what a great idea.
I was like, what? It would at least get people down here, right?
Yeah, get foot traffic in.
So I went through, we decided like I would like charge $5 for a map, and then people could come by and like get free chocolate at the different businesses to try to get people to come
in the door.
And so like the $5 just went towards paying for advertising, and then anything else we needed for the festival. And then it went way better than we thought it would, and we ended up selling like 445 maps.
Wow.
And
the very first time?
The very first time.
That is amazing.
So it was insane. We learned a lot from the event. Some things went not as great. Some things went really well. So we have some businesses that are returning. We have a lot of new businesses this year. And so we did it a little bit different. You get the map, and then some are giving out free chocolate. Some people are doing like a discounted chocolate item just to kind of help offset some of the costs for them.
Yeah.
We're creating an entire line of chocolate truffles this year.
Oh, wow.
So we're really excited about that, and that's what we're doing for the chocolate festival. And we did sponsors this year, so Trackside's sponsoring us this year, and we're getting some police officers, hopefully, to help us direct traffic, because we have people crossing streets, and that'll be one of the big things that we're doing that we learned last year that we didn't do that we needed.
You need traffic control.
Yeah, that was not... that was an oversight on my part.
Well, you didn't... Did you dream you'd have 445 maps sold or whatever?
No, I did not. So last year we had like maybe 100 people interested up until the week before.
Yeah.
And then it jumped up to over 1,000 people interested on Facebook.
That's amazing.
And that's whenever I was like, I'm just going to order more maps.
And so it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. So it was a big success. I can imagine, though, 445 people coming and getting free chocolate, though. That's expensive, though, with our today's prices, with inflation and everything, right?
Yeah, so, it was rough. That's kind of why we decided to offset a little bit of that, so that way, like, people that wanted to do free chocolate could, and then people that wanted to just do, like, a discounted item, like, either in their store or a discounted chocolate thing, they could do that. I know we're giving out free chocolate that day. Picasso's is doing free chocolate. There are several of them that are doing free chocolate, but some of them are doing a discount.
So you're either getting free or you're getting a discount on what you're doing. We're talking with Jamie Lankford. She's the owner of Jamie's Eats and Sweets over on West Broad in the Westside. They're doing the second annual chocolate festival. And Jamie, it's February 10th?
Yes, February 10th. We're doing that from 10 to 3. 10
a.m. to 3 p.m. And so if folks want to be a part of this, tell them how they do that.
So if you're like a business on the West Side and you want to join the chocolate festival, you can message us on our Facebook page, or you can call 931-644-6179, and we'll get back in touch with you. We do need to know in like the next couple days.
Getting close. Yeah, getting close.
But if you want to order a chocolate map, you can do that on the Jamie's Eats and Sweets website. We'll have those there for pre-order. Otherwise, you can come in and bring your $5 day of, and you can get your map then.
That's amazing. So you can pre-order on your site, and then they just come and pick the map up, and then it's going to show them all the places that they can go.
All the places, and whether or not it's a discount option or whether or not it's a free chocolate option.
And so you just walk around all these businesses, and
you just walk around. You can explore the businesses. You can hang out. And one thing we do ask is that you remember that this is a community event that we're doing for the community. So please be nice to all the business owners and the employees in the businesses.
Yeah, because they're doing this is a special thing for the community that everybody's doing, and
that's last year we talked about it. We're like, honestly, we don't really make.
You're not making money off of this. No,
it's just a fun thing we just wanted to do for the community, just to have a little reprieve, especially whenever January we all got snowed in this year.
Yeah.
So give them something to do.
Yeah, and get out, and it's right before Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so it's like a fun little date day if you want to, or like a Valentine's Day thing if you guys want to get a bunch of girls together.
Yeah. Oh, that is great. So it's the second annual chocolate festival. It's going to be held on the West Side. It's February 10th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Jamie Lankford at Jamie's Eats and Sweets has headed it up. Started it last year. Huge success. Looking for even more this year. If you're interested, you can give Jamie a call at 931-644-6179, or they can go on your Facebook page. Do you have a website?
You can, the Facebook page, if you're not calling us, is one of the best ways to reach us.
Okay.
But our website does have more contact information.
More contact.
So that's just jamieseatsandsweets.com.
Close to Valentine's Day coming up, so we got a special event. We're talking with Jamie Lankford. She's the owner of Jamie's Eats and Sweets over on West Broad Street, right across from Crawdaddy's, the second annual chocolate festival. They started it last year. It was a big hit. Jamie, it's on February 10th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Folks can, for $5, they contact you, they buy a map. It's going to list all these places that's going to either be offering free chocolate or discounted chocolate.
Yep.
And you can go by yourself. You can bring your sweetheart with you or whatever and walk around.
Walk around and explore the businesses and just enjoy some chocolate along the way.
Eat chocolate. Isn't that amazing? So that is February 10th at 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can go to your website, which is
Jamie'sEatsAndSweets.com.
Or you can go to your Facebook page.
Yep, message us there.
And if you're interested, that's February the 10th, and you can reserve a map. You got a lot of businesses that are helping and being a part of this. Can you tell us about some of those?
Yes. So we have some favorites from last year, and then we have some new ones. So like Art Jam is going to be doing like a fun little painting session. Picasso's is coming back this year. PS Page, which was Mission 931 last year, they're going to be there. They're going to be doing some chocolate festival things. Cumberland Mountain Outdoors, which is now just a couple doors down from me, they're participating this year. We've got Poppy's Boutique, which is down next to Cream City. We've got World Foods this year. P. Dilly's is doing it. We've got Plenty Downtown Bookshop, which is right next door to me. My bad. And then we've also got Trackside, which is a sponsor this year for us. We've got us, of course, Jamie's Eats and Sweets. We've got The Table, which is participating this year. And then we also have Southern Angels Boutique, which is also just down next to P. Dilly's.
Wow, you got a lot of businesses. That's great. And they're all within walking distance right there on the west side, right?
Yes.
That's great. So they can go park
and just explore.
Come to your business, get their map, and then just go and, wow, you need a lot of chocolate in 5 hours, can't you?
Yeah, you can. You really can. And that's what the maps are, like one per person. So that way we can have an idea of how much chocolate we need to have. That's kind of our gauge.
Way to plan
ahead. If we end up with a lot, I can text people and be like, go get more.
Go get more. Yeah.
But that's what we got.
Well, that's a great event. We appreciate you putting that on. And that brings foot traffic into the west side with all these businesses, because there have been a lot of businesses just like yours that has opened in the last year or two. We've had a huge number of new businesses coming in, and a lot of folks don't know about them.
Yeah.
I mean, our busy lifestyle, you drive by and you don't pay any attention until you get out and walk and physically go into these businesses. So
that's what I talk to people all the time. They're like, I didn't even know you were here.
So let's talk about your business, Jamie's Eats and Sweets. Opened back in September of 2022?
Yeah, September 2022.
That seems like yesterday, but it's already been a year and a half.
It went so fast.
and so what made you want to open a business like that?
So I've kind of always been obsessed with like the culinary and restaurant world. You can ask my mom growing up, and then I always loved baking. So like it was like I had an Easy Bake Oven that I totally ripped to shreds baking in it.
My sister had one of those. I had the light bulb in it. Well, those were neat though, weren't they?
They were fun. Couldn't bake a whole lot of them, but you could bake some stuff.
But it took a little while.
And then, like, if I wasn't doing that, then I was basically virtually baking, because we had, like, a video game that was Easy Bake Oven that we could put, like, on the keyboard for the computer.
Oh, wow.
So it was, like, kind of my obsession.
Yeah.
And then just kind of went from there. By the time I got ready to, like, go to college, I basically had this idea that I wanted to have a business that I could use to either fund my mission work or somebody else's. And so I wanted to, like, do that with, like, cafe style, because I had seen that with, like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Midnight Oil. It's in Searcy, Arkansas.
Yeah.
But I've seen them do that before. I'd seen some other businesses do it, and I was like, I want to do that. And that's kind of where the idea of like having a cafe where I could sell baked goods and stuff came from. And then by the time I got out of college, I basically had the business plan written.
Wow.
And then I moved to Cookeville because that's where my husband was. And we kind of went from there.
And you opened the business.
I opened the business. So part of that came from working at Backroom Bistro. I don't know if you remember Ron or not.
Yes.
I worked there. He let me use the kitchen graciously to sell my desserts. And then it kind of grew to where I couldn't do it both anymore.
So you had a way he let you come in, and basically you're actually starting your business, but you didn't have to have all that overhead to do it. Yeah.
And so I could sell that on the side, and then I was managing Backroom Bistro at the time, and then it just kind of grew to where I couldn't do both anymore. So. And
it's been a huge success. And so anybody, we set a record this past year, 90 ribbon cuttings.
Oh, wow.
That we went to Chamber and I went to and opened these new businesses. And most of them were small businesses like you. They're mom and pop type shops. You've put your hard-earned money into renting, leasing, or buying a storefront and selling your goods. It's amazing that how many of those have happened, and all the success stories, which I think speaks well for our community, that they want to shop local, they want to eat local. And
community support is overwhelming.
Isn't it? And that's what makes our community so great. And small businesses are the backbone of our community.
Oh, yeah.
So starting your own business, though, there's got to be hurdles, though. Was there any one thing that just stuck out at you that it made you say, oh, am I going to be able to do this? Or did it all just go great?
So I think mine is kind of like the typical business cliche, and it was finances.
Yeah, having enough money.
My biggest thing was I was starting to try to get a brick and mortar store at 22. And so I had basically not a whole lot of credit to work with. And everybody was like, you're 22, you're the definition of a flight risk. And so
that's great.
And so trying to get funding was kind of insane because it was like I couldn't get, like, I had a full business plan. It was like 12, 15 pages.
Yeah.
And it was like I had the whole plan written out. And it was like I would walk in and they'd be like really impressed that I had a business plan, but they're like, we're not going to give you credit.
You're too young,
you're
right?
You're too young. You don't have anything that you can put up as collateral.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. And so I went, and the Biz Foundry has a whole program. And so I got with them. I went through and did their Startup Your Startup class, which a lot of it was some stuff that I already knew, but it gave me a great networking opportunity.
Yeah.
So like anybody that wants to do that class, I say do it.
Jeff Brown over to Biz Foundry.
Oh,
yeah, they got
Jeff
a great
Brown,
program.
Tiffany Anton, top tier.
Yeah.
It was a good time. Got with them, did the whole process of trying to do their whole like loan program, and then ended up getting a loan through them.
That is great.
That was my first big adventure.
And so you walked into business in September, and I mean, you've already got this figured out in your mind. You know what you're going to do.
Yeah, I had an idea, and then I had contingency plans if the first idea didn't work.
You're very smart to be that young. That's was it just a hit to start with, and folks, or did you have to build it up over a period of time? Or?
I think honestly, so like I started baking in Cookeville in 2021 because that was right after I first moved here. It was like I had been here in Cookeville for 3 weeks, and I posted an Instagram page and started a Facebook page, and I was like, hey, I'm doing this now.
Yeah.
And then like Rodney helped me get with Vertical Coffee Company, and so I started doing wholesale for them. And then the wholesale is kind of really where everything took off because then people were like, oh, I know Jamie, I can get her stuff there. And then it was like we were doing wholesale for Vertical. We were doing it at Plenty whenever they were over on Spring. We're doing Freedom House Coffee right now. They weren't really part of the beginning, but we were also doing Exceptional Bean at one time, and then Roots Coffee whenever they were Christian Supply.
Yeah.
So I was doing all of that part-time while managing the bistro.
I don't.
It was wild.
Workaholic, not a lot of time to sleep there.
It's a problem. So kind of went from there, and so I had built up a community, and so the Facebook page had already gotten a lot of traction, and so whenever we were actually starting to move into the actual brick and mortar side, I just kind of tried to keep that hype going by showing people like this is what the process has been.
Yeah.
This is what we're trying to do, and then so we already had a really good community starting out, and it's just kind of grown since then.
That's amazing. I mean, you're the perfect success story. I mean,
I don't know about that. But
well, think about it. At 22 years old, and you've already got a business plan, and you know what you want to do, but you had that in your mind years before. And then to make it happen, and to not give up, and to keep going. I mean, I just think it's pretty amazing.
It's pretty crazy.
So,
I don't know if it's insanity or a good idea, but.
So you've done this then. Is there any advice that you'd give to, if there's somebody out there listening, wants to think about starting their own business, any advice you give to them?
Make sure that you really want it. That's going to be my first one. Because if you don't really want it, you're going to give up really fast.
Yeah.
But I kind of hit a point where it was like whenever we were going through like the whole like pros and cons of like, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? Because I got married and started a business all at the same time.
Wow.
And my husband looked at me. He's like, are you sure you want this?
Yeah.
He's like, do you know what we're going to have to sacrifice if you do this?
Yeah.
And so like that was kind of like one of our big discussions. But it was like I hit a point where I realized I don't want to be doing anything else other than this.
This is your lifelong
goal. And so I was like, this is what I want.
Yeah.
And so it was like that was kind of our indecision, and that's how we just kind of started. And so like I think if you don't have that like resolution, like this is what I want to be doing, it's the only thing I feel like I should be doing.
Yeah.
Then
you got to be 100% dedicated.
100% dedicated.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be moments where you're going to be like, oh my gosh, why did I do this?
Yeah.
I am like wrecking what I thought I wanted for my life. And then other times you're going to be like, this is the best thing in the whole world. And so like you have really high highs and really low lows. So you just got to make sure that you can kind of keep going through it. You
talked earlier about this is kind of a mission for you, right?
Yeah.
Well, tell me about that.
So we've gone through like last year we did a whole like year of giving. And so we picked like a different organization or different charity each month last year. And we picked a dessert to go with it. And so like even if we didn't always post it, we started out posting all of them. And then life got crazy. But we were like picking one each month, even if it wasn't on our Instagram.
Yeah.
And just every month, all the sales from that dessert went towards that specific charity.
Wow.
So like the first one we did was Partners for Africa. They're a group that I've gone on mission trips with before. I love them. My friend Neil's going back with them again this year. And so we did him a couple months because I knew he was going back.
Yeah.
And then we also just sent it straight to Partners for Africa, that group, because they build wells, they build schools over there.
They're helping people in third world countries, yeah.
Yeah, and helping to spread the gospel to the preachers over there. So I was like, I love them, and I had to do that one for sure. But we also helped like I don't know if you guys know Cora, but she has like a whole like goat farm here in Putnam County that they do like goat yoga and like goat cuddling and things like that.
Those goats are cute as they can be.
Cute.
That's amazing.
So like we've done her, we helped White Ribbon Tennessee, all sorts of different ones that we did last year. And so just being able to give back in that way and know that like we're a business in the community, but we're also like I want it to be for the community.
Yeah.
And so our giving back in that way just kind of helps keep everything going.
That's what makes it a successful business, though. And it is, I mean, you got a business, you've got a job, but you're giving back to the community. But your Christian mission here, I mean,
it goes hand
it's all hand in hand, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't feel like I can do one without the other. We get people that come in and do Bible studies in the store all the time, and it's like my favorite thing in the world. So like if you ever like walk in while that's happening, you'll just see me like beaming because I'm just living my best life. But
well, that's just you have an amazing story, Jamie, and I'm glad that you came on the show, and wish you the best. And sounds like God's in it, and He's blessed you, and you're giving back to the community, and that's just great. We're so proud of you and what you've done. Let's tell them one more time about the second annual Chocolate Festival that you're sponsoring.
Yes, so the Chocolate Festival is February 10th. It'll be from 10 to 3. You can get a $5 map on our website at jamieseatsandsweets.com, or you can come into the store and pre-order it. It'll be a good time. You are getting either free or discounted chocolate this year, so make sure to look on the maps. That way you know which one you're getting. And just remember to be nice to the community because we're doing it for you guys.
Yes.
And so be nice to the business owners and each other while you're out there because there'll be a lot of people.
And all these businesses are right there within walking distance of your shop on the west side, right there across from Crawdaddy's.
Right there within walking distance. So you shouldn't need to drive once you get the map, but if you need to, hey, that's okay too.
Thank you for doing this and giving back to the community like you are, and what a success story you are for individuals that are wanting to start their own business. I'm so proud of you.
No problem.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you. Great weekend. Don't forget, Jamie Sweets and Treats. They're having the second annual Chocolate Festival, February 10th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. $5 gets you all kinds of free chocolate and chocolate discounts over on the west side. Get in contact with them with their website or with their Facebook page. Phone number is 931-644-6179. We're going to make breaking news here on Today in Putnam County. Some great news, I think, coming for the Zimmer family of radio stations. It's been so good to me here, allowing me to have Today in Putnam County for over 5 years now. We got an announcement, don't we, Jason Grider?
Well, I guess so, Randy. I guess we do.
So, Jason and Sheila show here on WHUB 107.7 every morning, 6 to 8. Jason, you've been in radio as long as I've known you, and I guess it goes back to your childhood.
Yeah,
right?
So in this very building, in first grade, my dad did afternoons on Q94 way back before it was the Country Giant, and he would bring me here, and there used to be a stereo that sat there, one of those big wood cabinet stereos, and even before coming here a lot when I was in first grade, they'd bring me as a kid, and I teethed on that stereo that used to sit right there. And so these stations are special stations and special to me. I think they hold a special place in the community's heart.
Absolutely.
You got one that's been around for over 80 years, the Country Giants, the most massive radio station in Middle Tennessee.
Nashville to Knoxville and state line to state line.
Kiss FM, the only top 40 station between Nashville, Knoxville, and Chattanooga. And then WPTN, that's where I started, 106.1 The Eagle. It used to be just 780 AM back in the day. And that's the very first time I got paid to be on the radio was on that radio station.
Wow.
So, these stations mean a lot to me. And, again, I think they mean a lot to the community. And I was offered the opportunity to become the general manager of
drum roll
of the radio stations. And it just seemed like the right thing to do. I went home and talked to my wife about it. Some good men in my life who said, you should pray about it. And so I did. And I told the Lord, I said, I'm an idiot, so you're going to have to make this pretty, you're going to have to make it real plain and simple for me. And then so the very next day, Jerry Zimmer made it real, it was everything I could ask for. So.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks,
heard it here first. Jason Grider, the new general manager, sales manager, everybody's boss, grand poopah.
Whatever. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter. I'm just here to roll up some sleeves and get to work.
Well, we're excited for you. I've also got, I call her Ray Ray.
Yeah, most people do.
Erica Goforth is my producer, and Chastity Wilson in with us this morning.
They're the real rock stars here.
They are the real rock stars. You're exactly right.
100%.
As long as you keep that attitude, you'll do well with these.
Well, there's nothing that can happen at this radio station or any of these radio stations without these two being involved.
We work very hard at our job. Mm-hmm. We enjoy it.
These are the people in the background that are making the commercials and editing the shows and making sure that all this comes out and sounding good. And y'all do a great job. And I wanted to have you on to say thank you.
Oh, thank you
for what you do. And I wanted to announce Jason's new position.
Man, I'm excited. And I'm real excited to work with Chastity and Ray because, I've been in and out of the building a lot the past few years, and you can just see that their work ethic is unbelievable, unmatched. And then that they care about the radio stations as much as anybody possibly could. And you can't find that. I mean, that's
the attitude of a lot of the workforce and things now doesn't have that, and I call it the old school mentality.
Oh, yeah. I do too.
You're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that the job is done right, and then you're going to go above that.
That's right.
And do more, and because you're proud of where you work at and you're proud of the job you do.
Yes, we want it to succeed.
Yeah.
Right, and I feel like that is so far from where most young people are these days that you're just doing anything you can to try to put that in them, to light a fire under them,
to instill that.
Yes.
And I wonder sometimes if we as parents, we may have messed up. And I know I wanted my child to have more than what we did.
Are you kidding me? I did everything exactly right.
I wished. I did instill into my daughter the work ethic. She has my workaholic work ethic, but I think we may have babied our kids a little too much, and with these new generations. But I don't know.
I don't know either.
They can flip a script though at any moment.
That's right.
You can change just like that. And maybe it just takes a little maturity to do that. And but these ladies, they are my go-tos. They help me schedule the shows. They help get me guests. They edit my show. They produce my show. They make sure that everything's done good. And I want to say thank you for what y'all do.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure to do it. We like
me.
being part of the mayor's team. We are Team Randy Porter. So
well,
there we go.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Jason, give us some ideas of what you got in store. I mean,
we got a business of doing stuff, and that's what we got to do is do stuff. Radio is such a great medium, and I know a lot of people have discounted it over the past few years, but there's still, 93% of people listen to the radio every single day, and these radio stations carry the weight of that here in the Upper Cumberland. So the thought that, oh man, radio is still the most viable media medium there is. I mean, a lot of people like to say social media, but sure, you can, that's okay, but radio is a constant in people's lives.
And we use it locally.
Right.
I mean, you think back to the tornado and what the radio stations did for us. That's how people got their information. Now, social media, you get the junk that goes along with that. But with radio, you're getting the facts. You're getting the information that's available 24/7 for us to hit and tell y'all stuff.
And that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole reason radio was really even invented is to keep a community informed and entertained. And that's really the only formula that there is to success is if you can do those two things, then you're going to do great.
You and I go back to the day of, you remember when they used to break into the radio station and tell you where the fire was at when the fire department went out?
I have done those reports before. Swap and shop.
We should bring that back.
I got to tell you, I think it'd be so fun to do, even if it was once a month, to get on here and do swap and shop.
Oh, that would be great.
Do you know we still get phone calls?
You are kidding me.
Yes, about swap and shop. They're like, I'm sorry, but we don't have that anymore.
Bring it back.
It was great. We used to have a ball with that. I do remember one
Randy,
time.
Randy, I'll do it if you'll be the co-host.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We pulled a prank on one of our paramedics years ago. This has been when you could do some pranks and not get in trouble. But we put it on Swap and Shop that he had strawberries and to give away, and that they would pick them for you. And if you called the number and they would give you a gallon of strawberries.
What a lot of calls.
It was the end of the day. This was back before cell phones, and they wore his wife at home out. She couldn't answer the phone fast enough. And,
I had no idea you were that mean-spirited.
Well, there was a group of us.
Blame it on them.
The
ringleader. It was. I've learned a lot since then. Wouldn't do that today, but we had a lot of fun. But congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm excited for you.
Me too.
And what's going to happen with your leadership with the radio stations.
We're excited to work with you.
Oh, ain't that sweet?
Group hug.
I think we have I think 2024 is going to be a good year for us. So stay tuned, folks. You never know what we're doing.
You never know.
Never know. Well, thanks, guys, for being on. Thank you for what you do for me on the show. And that's Today in Putnam County. Hope you'll join us every weekend on all the Zimmer Family radio stations. I'm County Mayor Randy Porter. Hoping you have a great rest of your weekend. And may God continue to bless our great county.
You've been listening to Today in Putnam County, hosted by Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter.